somewhere deep within us, there arises the truthful statement, I am not at peace. I begin by presuming that I know myself, and therefore further presume that the fulfillment to my desires lies in worldly objects. And so I go and search out in the world with a view to securing my peace. This meandering, outward going search continues, however, to leave me half empty and dissatisfied. Finally, it dawns on me that it isn't this object or that one that is the cause of my ill-at-easedness. And it dawns on me furthermore that no such object in the world can truly fulfill my heart's deepest longing. It is at this point that I begin to turn around, to wheel myself around, to, as Zen master Dogen put it, take the backward step and turn the light within. Henceforth, strikingly, I emphasize the I in I am not at peace and begin a serious, profound inquiry into the nature of this I. My initial assumption is that I am personal consciousness, and as such am limited to this body-mind container. Yet as my inward going inquiry deepens and deepens, I open myself up to the possibility that I am unlimited and impersonal or suprapersonal consciousness. To see how this understanding could dawn on me, I may begin by discriminating between objects of experience, those that used to transfix me, and myself, that which is initially aware of all objects of experience. This is called discrimination, or the path of exclusion. It is also known as separation, because I separate myself from all objects that appear to me. After I separate myself from all objective experiences, it becomes natural for me to turn the light that I am, on myself in order to better understand my actual nature. Hereby, I open myself up to the deep, intimate possibility that not only am I not that which has any objective qualities, not only am I not a personality, but I am also, or at least I am quite open to this, unlimited, eternally or continuously present, and self-luminous. By the last, that is self-luminosity, it is meant that I am self-shining. I shine the light on myself as well as on all objective experiences. That is, I require no further light in order to know myself, that is, to be myself. I am, in this sense, like the sun, all radiance. At this stage, I begin to examine the objects of experiences that I have hitherto set off to the side. After all, there is a doubt. How can I be myself and not somehow be connected with objective experiences after all? This doubt naturally dissolves through deeper inquiry. When we turn back to objective experiences, we initially ask the question, where do they occur? Or in what is each objective experience taking place? Today, we undertake that inquiry together. Allow your eyes to close if they are not already closed. Begin to note any sound in your environment. The sound of this voice, the sound of some appliance, the sound of a fan, the din of distant traffic. Start with the ordinary or commonsensical or deeply held belief, namely, that this particular sound, or indeed all sounds, are taking place in physical space. Take that belief on and wear it, so to say, and feel that this sound is occurring in physical space. It is near or far, and it is passing to me, traveling to me. Now turn your attention inside the body and ask the question, what is the commonly held view about where this bodily sensation is occurring? You don't have to go searching for that answer. This bodily or physical sensation is thought to be occurring in something called corporeal or bodily space. For a moment, simply feel that this sensation is taking place in corporeal or bodily space. Moreover, feel that this bodily space is different from the out there physical space in which, for example, sounds appear. Now, go to a thought, whatever may be its content, and examine the question, what is the commonly held view about where a thought is appearing? There's no need to fish for the answer. It is believed that the thought is occurring inside the head, or, as I will put it here, inside of mental space, inside of some container that is known commonly as the mind. Believe and feel then that this thought, allow it to arise again, is occurring inside of mental space. And then note that mental space seems to be different from bodily space, and that bodily space and mental space both seem to be different from physical space. Feel these separations, these apparently deep divisions, these rigid compartmentalizations. The sound is said to appear in physical space. The sensation is thought to appear inside of bodily space. And the thought or feeling is believed to arise within mental space. The question before us is whether any of this is true. Go first to a sound arising in physical space. Begin by probing this belief. Go deeply into the question, can you actually find this physical space? And if so, where is it in your direct experience? The question is not, can you find the sound? It is an appearance. It is evident to you in your experience. The question is, can you find in your actual experience physical space? And if so, where is it? Take away the sound or investigate the matter once the sound has subsided, and then ask, in the absence of this sound, where is the physical space in my direct experience? Set aside all thoughts. We'll return to these shortly, like near and far, or close by and far away. Then ask yourself the question, Without those concepts or thoughts, how far away or how close by is this sound? Without the use of thought, how far does physical space extend? The mind might say, indefinitely. Set aside the mind, set aside thought. Go to your apparent experience of physical space and see how far it extends. This way, that way, some other way. Isn't it peculiar that all these questions reveal the unfindability of the notion of physical space? Indeed, if once again you take away sound, and if you also take away all thoughts, are you left with an open and empty physical space? Notice what instead is the case. The mind is projecting a container which it calls physical space and which it puts, quote, out there. And then it projects distance concepts, volume concepts, such that it appears from the vantage point of the finite mind as if the sound is occurring in this thing called physical space at some distance. This is, so to speak, how the illusion works. This is how it comes to seem as if an object, here a sound, is existing in a container known by the mind as physical space and at some measurable distance from the apparently separate, individuated perceiver. What would it be like if we were to let go of the notion of physical space? If we were to let go of an incoherent concept? This will become clearer as we proceed. Turn back inside the body and recall our model. That is, a sensation is taking place within bodily space. Begin with the question, where is this bodily space? Presumably, it would be outside of while also containing this sensation. Go to the total body sensation, to the global sensation. and try to find the space that exists apart from the global sensation. If this belief were correct, then we should be able to find the sensation and the space surrounding it. Can we? Or don't we just find a blob-like, relatively shapeless sensation without a separate bodily space surrounding it? Go further. If this bodily space were to exist, shouldn't we be able to find the line that separates it from the so-called physical space? If so, go and look for that boundary between bodily space and physical space. Where is it? Where indeed does the first space here, bodily, end, and the second, physical space, begin? Or where does the physical space end and the bodily space begin? As we draw our attention outward, we simply find space without any such physical or bodily label. And we will come back to that metaphor of space. If we, so to speak, start outward and bring our attention back toward the body, we likewise only find space without any further labels attached to it. And in neither case do we actually find a border, a boundary, a seam, a split, a dividing line. But how can that be if the body is said to be here, while everything around it, the world, is said to be not here, that is, there? Notice what is becoming clearer. The finite mind also projects an internal bodily space that is said to be this side of the skin boundary, another concept. And then it posits that a particular sensation is at some discernible difference from another one. Here too, the container as well as the distance concept are both projections of the finite mind. Therefore, consider the question, without the use of any thought or any concepts, where or in what does this sensation appear? Where or in what, without the use of concepts, does this sound arise? Is it at least possible that they both arise in one and the same space? Turn now to the concept of mental space. Allow a thought to arise, whatever that thought may be, and then consider the question, do I actually find some kind of container or mental space in which this thought is appearing? And if so, where is it? Look between thoughts. In the absence of thought, where is this mental space that is said to be independently existing? How large is this mental space in the absence of thought? Thought might burst in and say, it's the size of the head. Note, without the use of thought, without any mental superimpositions, how large is this mental space? How far does it extend? Where again is the boundary between this mental space and the so-called physical space? And where, too, is the boundary between mental space and bodily space? These notions, the latter two, are incoherent. Isn't there some kind of weird conceptual overlap between mental space, the head, and bodily space, the quote, rest of the body? But how could that be understood? And do we ever actually discover that overlap or that disjunction? All we ever discover, to put a different metaphor on it for now, is homogeneous, all pervasive space. We have every reason, therefore, in light of this inquiry, to drop those three compartmentalized concepts of space: physical, bodily, and mental. Use a thorn to remove a thorn. In their place, put a clearer or more accurate concept for now. That is, aware space. Aware, homogeneous, all pervasive, unified space. A space without any parts or divisions. And a space that, shall we say, at every single point is aware and present. Let this space extend in all directions, such that every single point, so to speak, in this aware space is sensitive with awareness. That is, let aware space, vast, empty, and open, be such that it can touch every single experience occurring within it. When we try on aware space, what do we discover about sounds, sensations, and thoughts? Bring your attention once again to a sound. And this time, hear the sound as if it is taking place within aware, open, present space. That is to say, within you, aware presence. To investigate this sound further, imagine for the moment that there is a point of entry. Before that point of entry, the sound exists, yet is unheard. After that point of entry, the sound enters into aware present space, whereupon it is heard. In your actual experience now, look for that point of entry, the point where the sound crosses over into aware present space. Reach out and try to find the sound before it enters the aware space of your being. Note that this is impossible. You only ever hear the sound just as it rises within you, aware, present, open, empty, welcoming space. Notice that we don't leave this space as we turn, as we do now, to a bodily sensation. Allow a sensation or the total body sensation to arise. And see what it is like to regard it as appearing within the aware, open, present space of your very being. Very gently allow the attention to move from the sensation to the sound. And note that the attention, it could be said, is moving without you, the aware, present space, likewise moving. You stay put as each experience, the sound and the sensation, appear within you. Notice as you allow any thought to arise that you likewise have not left the aware, present space of your being. It's the same homogeneous space. To make that clear, allow the attention to, so to say, traverse this wide, open, vast aware space that you are, moving from thought to sensation to sound, and simply see what this is like. See that you never leave the aware space that you are. In fact, you, awareness, don't move a single inch, as every single experience here of thought, a sensation, and a sound gently rise and fall within you. We've been using a thorn to remove a thorn. We have allowed for a gentle mental superimposition, namely the idea of homogeneous and aware space, in order to let go of the deeply held yet erroneous beliefs that there are at least three compartmentalized and fundamentally separate spaces. Now we want to go further. Let's use one more thorn to remove a thorn. Let go now of the concept of space and replace it with a subtler concept, that of a beautiful, radiant spotlight. This spotlight is effulgent or luminous. It is not pinpoint like. Now, employing this metaphor, we wish to see that every single experience is arising in my light, the light of awareness. That is to say, whenever the experience arises, it is in me in this sense, in the sense in which it is illuminated by me, this gentle spotlight. Allow a sound to arise and feel that the sound is occurring in me in the sense that it is illuminated by my gentle spotlight. So if we ask the question now, where is the sound appearing? The answer is in my light. Don't let the mind get confused. Simply go to the experience and understand it as appearing within my light. And be astonished. Note how beautiful every single sound is as each appears in the light of awareness, that is, in my own light. Nothing essential changes as I note that all bodily sensations likewise rise and fall in my generous, open light, the light of awareness. I am that which is lighting up their very appearance, or it, that is the total body sensation. And notice how beautiful it is to allow for the light, for that is what it does anyway, to gently fall on sound and on sensation, to bathe each experience in its, that is, my own light. Notice that the same is true as thoughts rise and fall. In what does each thought rise and fall? Only in me, that is, in my light, the light of awareness. Understand now that sounds, sensations, and thoughts are all gently rising and falling within my light. And just note, register, understand what this is like. Go perhaps one step further still. Use a thorn to remove a thorn. A spotlight, however capacious it may be, can still feel limiting. Therefore, replace the subtle idea of a spotlight with the even subtler notion of the heart or my center. In this way, understand that every single experience is appearing right in my heart or right in the very center of my being. Listen to Jesus from the book of Thomas. Split the wood, and I'm there. Lift the stone, and I am there. We could say, split the wood, and lo, I am here, right here. Lift the stone, and lo, I am here. That is, wherever there is an experience of any kind, I, the heart, the real center, am here. Wherever an experience is, lo, I am here. Wherever it arises, lo, I am here. For I am the heart, the real center. And being the heart, or being the real center, I am not in space. I'm not even a localized spotlight. I'm simply, and notice how the mind cannot fathom this, the real heart, or the centerless center, in which this experience is appearing. This is to say, I am utterly intimate with this experience. Listen now to any sound while being wakefully, knowingly, intuitively, dearly, the very heart, the very center of this experience. Listening is near and dear in me. Sensing, that is, feeling a sensation, is near and dear in me, the heart, the very center of aware presence. And thinking is near and dear in me, the very heart, the very center of all experience. Go one step further still and let go of concepts supplied by the finite mind, that is, hearing, sensing, and thinking. Replace those three with experiencing. Therefore, let go of any hearing, quote, out there, sensing, quote, in here, and thinking, quote, in here. If those had inadvertently remained, drop them now, and simply let all experience be regarded as experiencing. Thus, experiencing is taking place in my very heart, in the very center of my open, aware being. Gently, silently note how very sweet, beautiful, innocent, and intimate all experiencing is, in as much as it is occurring within my very heart. Split the wood. I am here. Lift the stone. I am here. Hear a sound. I am here. Feel a sensation. I am here. Think a thought. I am here. In fact, simply, purely experience. I am right here. And I've never not been right here. And I can't, in fact, be anywhere but here. The heart, the very center, or dimensionless, centerless center of my very being. Thus, how very sweet and natural all experience is. How very blessed, so understood, all experiencing is.